but I think partially what's happening is maybe advertising is changing that as well, where they're realizing that they can make revenue on advertising online, so maybe they should give the content. It's like TV. The content is, well, you pay for your cable, but you don't really pay each channel. You get your television free, so to speak, and they make their money back on advertising. If the internet can be successful that way, I think it would be great. Because I like, in a way, I have a subscription to 1,000 newspapers. It's great.
Do you believe that blogging, the blogs can coexist with the old media? Because in Greece, there's a perception that there's a rivalry between
there is a rivalry
between old media and
no, there is a rivalry,
but like blogging.
But there very much is a rivalry. At least in the States, we are very critical of the media. One of our jobs, I would say, that we self-define is we monitor the media to make sure they're being fair. In my case, to make sure the media hasn't moved too far to the right, because I work on the left. So there's an antagonism naturally. But what's been very interesting in the States is we've also developed a lot of really good relationships with the media, where now reporters will write me, they'll send me an email and say, hey, here's a story I just wrote that maybe you want to link to, you might find it interesting. Reporters will contact me and say, hey, I know you're an expert on this and this and this. I'm writing a story, maybe you have some information you can give me. So they're starting to look at me as a source for their information, but also looking at me as someone who can help put their stories out there. And vice versa. I mean, I will sometimes give stories to reporters, look at the blogs to try to find stories that they can write about. To try to look and say, oh, okay, yeah, that's interesting, or that's interesting. Not to repeat the story, but to look at it and say, that's an interesting idea. Now I, the reporter, am going to do my own research on the blogger's idea and see if I can find something interesting. But you're seeing a much more symbiotic relationship with much of the media. Some of it is still antagonistic, but we went from just antagonism now to working together, and I think we've seen the same thing in politics. Initially, it was much more antagonistic. Now, we're still not very happy with our government, either on the left or the right, in the States, the blogs, certainly. But the American people, I think we reflect the American people. We're not happy with our government. But you also find the blogs working much more closely with the parties at the same time. So I think the relationship and I think you'll see this in Greece, as the relationship matures, you find cooperation and you find combat. Both. It's natural.
Let's talk a little bit about the rules. Do you believe that blogging should be put under control? Because,
no.
Legislative control. Because in Greece, there's a lot of talking now that the government should intervene and put some rules and some laws and something.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well, two things. One, the blogs already are under control because Greece is a nation of laws. I assume, I'm a lawyer in the States, but I assume Greece has laws for libel and slander. Meaning, if a newspaper says something about someone and it's a lie and it hurts you, you can sue that newspaper. You can go to court and say, you hurt me, you lied, and you knew you were lying and you didn't care. I'm going to sue you and get money, or I'm going to put you in jail or whatever. You can do the same thing in the States. So I don't think you need laws, because you know what? People have been talking about each other for a couple thousand years, and we deal with that. Newspapers have been writing about people for, at least in modern times, in Greece since 1820, right? Or 1821, the newspapers have been free. So this isn't new that you have someone who can speak about someone else. The laws already cover it. If I lie, you can come after me.
You're protected.
You're protected. What I don't like is, I think, Greece, and I find this in Italy as well. I've been to Italy a lot, doing some speeches about the internet and getting to know the online community. I think Greece is behind in its use of its internet compared to many Western European countries. Spain, 10 years ago, wasn't very advanced. Spain was where Greece is 10 years ago. There's no excuse for Greece to be on not just the same level as Spain, but to be where Spain was in 1998. That's crazy. Greece isn't. This is Europe. All I'm saying is, I think I would like to see Greece focus more on the advantages of the internet, the potential in the internet for education, for politics, for the culture, just to get Greece's message out around the world, but to stop worrying about the internet as though it's something bad. I think we've already seen in the rest of the world that the internet has been incredibly powerful. And to be honest, most of the stories you hear from around the world about the internet are not bad stories. It's not, oh, every day we hear how terrible the internet is. No, every day you hear how fascinating and wonderful the internet is, how people are using YouTube to do their own broadcasting to the world. These are exciting things, and I would like to see Greece try to focus on how does it use the internet more in Greece to help Greece, rather than treating it as though somehow in Greece the internet is bad. It's been quite good in the rest of the world. I think it can be good here too. I know I don't know if your time is getting short.
One last question.
Okay.
About the American elections. In what way does blogging influence the American elections, since it's the first time that we see such a big involvement of bloggers and the internet in the campaign?
I think we're probably the most important role blogs play in the elections, I think, are, again, dealing with the media. Say on the left especially that the blogs are an echo chamber or a noise machine. Basically, we mean that the blogs have enough readers, including members of the media who read the blogs, politicians who read the blogs, and just regular citizens, that collectively, on the left, for example, we have enough readers that if we all start talking about something, it'll start to echo in the culture of America at large, so that potentially we can even make something a story by talking about it. And I think what you're seeing or going to see with this election is the blogs are actually part of the debate. If the blogs see something that they think is a story, we may be able to get the media to actually cover it. Or if the media is doing something that we don't like, if maybe they're criticizing our candidate unfairly, or they're being too nice to the other candidate, the blogs can all get together and criticize the media, and the media may pay attention. I think the media will pay attention, and I think we've already seen examples of that. So blogs, I think, the most important thing they'll do, but there's other things too, is helping to create news and also being a monitor of the media to keep the media fair in the election. And like I said, I think we've already been doing that for years, but I think that's the most important role that we'll probably have, I hope. We'll see.
And one last thing.
The last question.
Do you have a message to give to the Greek bloggers? I know that you know many of them. A message to them.
I've already given them my message. You guys know my message, but at least the ones I've met already know my message. I don't know. No, you know, the thing, I'll talk to the camera because I'm talking to the bloggers. I mean, the thing that I've already told many of the Greek bloggers I know is, as much as I was a little disappointed to see that Greece, again, like Italy, which is another country I love it. I speak Italian. I love Italy. I was disappointed to see Greece and Italy being further behind a lot of European countries for blog, like France. France was totally behind with blogs, probably the worst. France is now, some people say, the #1 European country for use of blogs, or at least on the continent. You know, they turned it around. I have been so impressed with the technical knowledge of Greeks in terms of the internet. And not just the internet as far as technology, but the internet and politics. I was shocked. I mean, I had Greeks teach me a lot of things. Twitter. The geeks out there know what I'm talking about. Regular people may not. But actual uses of the internet that Greeks have been able to show me that I never really understood until they showed me. You guys, you have people working on the internet here in Greece who could make a lot of money if they left Greece and went to the States and wanted to work there. I mean, that's the level of expertise you have. And again, it's only a matter of whether the rest of the country realizes the ability you have and the power you have to change things using the internet, or whether they think of the internet as something bad that you should be afraid of. But no, I've just been terribly impressed with the level of knowledge you have and the not just the ability, I'm forgetting the word, maybe the resources you have here in Greece for using the internet are amazing. I just hope you take advantage of it. There you go.